All right, everybody. Welcome to the Get Bit podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, you are certainly most welcome here. I'm your host, the most Will Buchanan. Of course, the man to my left, your right, depending on how your screen's flipped. What you got for us today, sir?
I'm Joe Tonello, and you're not.
Simple, to the point. I like that. We are the Give It Podcast, guys. So before we get started, much like the WWE, we do try to watch our language, but sometimes words do fly. At the same time, guys, there may be things that might be shown tonight that might be too intense for younger viewers, so viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. So, a lot's happened this week.
We thought we were going to be safe.
We thought. But before we really get into heavy stuff, guys, for all those that were in the path of Hurricane Ian, hopefully you guys are safe. Hopefully you guys are nice and dry, and hopefully things aren't too bad. So if you are in that area, please take care of yourselves. And of course, if you are still in the path of Hurricane Ian, please take all necessary precautions to make sure you and your loved ones are safe. But as we were getting into, this week was looking kind of iffy until, well, Ryan Reynolds decided to give us something that we never thought we would see.
Hey, everyone. We're extremely sad to have missed D23, but we've been working very hard on the next Deadpool film for a good long while now.
I've had to really search my soul on this one.
His first appearance in the MCU obviously needs to feel special. We need to stay true to the character, find new depth, new motivation, new meaning.
Every Deadpool needs to stand out and stand apart. It's been an incredible challenge that has forced me to reach down deep inside.
And I have nothing. Yeah, just completely empty up here. And terrifying. But we did have one idea. Hey, Hugh, you want to play Wolverine one more time?
Yeah, sure, Ryan.
Oh, man. The ultimate genius in marketing, Ryan Reynolds, who gave us this little tidbit about Deadpool 3, for the simple fact of the matter that, yes, Deadpool 3 will finally have Wolverine. But Joe, I feel like you want to say something right now. I feel like
I'm not gonna lie. I thought this was an aviation gin ad at first.
I mean, he did.
I mean, he's pouring it right there. So, like, I'm just like, this is a Deadpool aviation gin thing, isn't it? And then Hugh Jackman just walks across the street. He's like, oh, they're doing something completely different.
Exactly.
This is Hugh Jackman's whiskey, isn't it? It's a joke.
I was looking for the Happy Man Coffee reference.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for too.
Yeah, it's like the Happy Man Coffee reference was coming eventually, but no. Ryan Reynolds, he sat there and released it from his Twitter saying, it's hard to keep my mouth sewn shut that yes, Deadpool 3 is coming and that it will include Wolverine. However, that is not the only trailer that Ryan decided to give us. Just because, well, he knew what every Marvel fan was thinking at this point. So he decided to answer our questions, I guess you can call it.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
You have questions.
Yes. I had a lot of questions. I'm sure you had a lot of questions, but rest assured, we're going to answer them right now. Like, for example, how is Wolverine alive after Logan?
Logan takes place in 2029. Totally separate thing. Logan died in Logan. Not touching that. What actually happens in our film is
Wake me up before you go, don't leave me hanging on like a yo-yo. Wake me
Okay, you know what? You win. Ryan Reynolds wins the internet for the week
I
because
feel like the only reason they used "Wake Me Up" is because they wouldn't. Is Rick Astley wouldn't give you, never gonna give you up.
that would have been perfect. The fact that the whole Rick roll moment would have been perfect. But you know, of course his fascination with George Michael. I guess that's going to be a renaissance of Wham coming eventually. But yes, Deadpool is coming. The date is a while from now. We won't see it till 2024. But I almost started to go back to the dates that Kevin Feige had. And I could have sworn one of those dates was the exact date for Deadpool. I could have sworn. I didn't actually go back and do the research on that. I really should have. So I apologize. But I could have sworn one of the dates in phase 6 was one of the dates that would be for Deadpool 3. But again, it's okay. We're just happy that we're finally going to get to see the Wolverine Deadpool that we knew was going to happen eventually. But any thoughts on that, Joe, before we move on to other Marvel news?
I mean, we're slowly getting a trickle of mutants, whether people realize it or not. So this is only a matter of time. I mean, the whole premise for me is my imaginary premise on how this all works out is Deadpool still has Cable's body slide technology.
Mm-hmm.
Body slides in the past because he wants to hang out with Wolverine because he's depressed. Wolverine's not there anymore.
Yeah.
And something fritzes out, and he at the end goes on his journey. And then at the end of it, body slides back for good time's sake and winds up in the MCU. And we'll just say punched by Hulk for no reason.
Yeah, for no reason at all. But no, I think it's great. But that's not the only Marvel news that we had. We actually had quite a lot, but we're sticking to the good side for right now. But
We still have the other thing that came out of this.
Go for it.
Is when the trailer played. If you pop on over to Twitter, John Krasinski himself actually retweeted, "Oh, this is our movie." So I think that just confirms Mr. Fantastic for Deadpool 2 or Deadpool 3.
Deadpool 3. I think it does. I really think it does, just because I agree. I forgot about John Krasinski. I meant to pull that up. But
I wonder if this is the true multiverse of madness.
Well, if it goes with the next bit of news, I'd say so. If it goes with the next bit of news, but before we get to that, because I see where you're going with the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, but give me 1 second, because we do gotta get this out the way. Because of course, with Wolverine, Hugh Jackman coming back to play Wolverine's role in the MCU, Scarlet Witch herself has sat there and said that she would love to team up with the X-Men in the MCU, which, again, I would have no issue with that. There is a history of the Scarlet Witch joining the X-Men. But as she sat there and said, quote unquote, as Elizabeth Olsen sat there and said, quote unquote, I guess Wolverine is X-Men. When asked about which character she hopes to team up in the future, it'll be cool to work with a lot of people from the X-Men franchise. I guess Magneto is my dad in some world, which, again, depending on which Magneto you're talking about, it could be Michael Fassbender's character or Sir Isaac McKellen, depending on which one. I'm sorry, Ian McKellen. Sorry, my apologies, Ian McKellen. But get the Sir part. But
so let's just cut straight to it.
Mm-hmm.
She knows what her money is. What her money is.
Yeah,
we've built up how many movies just to see the snap? This woman is wanting to know how many movies she gets to build up to say the line.
Yeah, to finally sit there and say no more mutants. Yeah, I can see that. I think that is an interesting conundrum. How many movies would they build up to the point to where she gets to do the infamous House of M line?
Well, if it's up to me, I think they would alter it a little bit, and she's how you get rid of the Kangs.
I can see that. I can
no
see how the
Kangs, or just flat out no more, and then it just like resets everything.
Yeah, I can see that. The simple fact of the matter is, like, no more Kangs as far as no more mutants. I can see that going.
Or just flat out no more.
Yeah, that too. But I could see her coming back. It would make sense because, as the mutants are starting to finally flow into the MCU, I can see Scarlet Witch coming back. Because technically, as I've always said on this show, nobody's really dead until you see a body. And after the Multiverse of Madness, we didn't see a body. That's all I'm saying. So to really say that Scarlet Witch is dead would be a understatement right now. But
I mean, it physically showed in the movie she got out as the thing was coming around her.
pretty much. So again, she's still alive somewhere in the MCU. But the other story that we wanted to get to, guys, it's kind of it started off as bad tidings, but really it might have turned into a blessing. And it's the reason why I want to get to the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Marvel's Blade with Mahershala Ali. When it was initially reported earlier this week that there was trouble in paradise, initially the script itself was only 90 pages, and 2 of the action scenes Kevin Feige did not like. The lead actor himself said he was very frustrated with the process, and that of course Feige, being the master architect of the MCU that he is, sat there and said that they may be being spread too thin. So that being said, what happened a little bit later today, the director for Blade, Bassem Tariq, forgive me if I destroy your name, I apologize, did leave as director of Blade. And as confirmed by Variety, Sam Raimi will be set to direct Marvel Studios' Blade. Filming will begin in November. However, it's likely to be delayed. So, to basically Joe's point, we now have possibly the true multiverse of madness, considering the fact that he did direct Multiverse of Madness for Doctor Strange. Sam Raimi will now be directing Blade. Could we possibly be getting the Multiverse of Madness a la maybe Midnight Suns that we all hope for? But what's thoughts on that, Joe?
I mean, we definitely know this man can do horror. I just don't know if I'm ready for another Evil Dead retake, another version of Evil Dead, but this time with Blade.
Yeah.
And vampires. But, I believe they said that this is rumored to be a period piece happening from 1900 to 1980.
Right? Yeah.
Which is weird, but I'll roll with it.
Well, I didn't expect them to take up from where the Eternals fell off, where you hear him, stop what's his face from picking up the sword, picking up the black sword. So
yeah, that's true. And we may or may not potentially see Blade's son in this week's She-Hulk.
Yeah, potentially, considering.
And let's not forget that Blade appeared in What We Do in Shadows for an episode.
Mm-hmm.
And by that, I mean Wesley Snipes.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. But it does
mean that they're in that universe.
I mean, it is a multiverse.
Does that mean Moon Knight's going to fight Guillermo?
I mean, it would kind of be in his wheelhouse. I mean, it could. I mean, not to sound like that kid, but it could happen. It could happen, possibly. We're going to be immediately suspect. But no, it started, like I said, it started off as Trouble in Paradise, because Blade is one of those movies that we want to see rebooted. Wesley Snipes is being consulted, but Mahershala Ali is going to be playing the lead actor. The time period, as far as where they're doing the movie, I'll just wait for a better script. The reason why I say that is because if the script for an upcoming movie that, depending on which argument on the MCU side, some would say if it wasn't for Blade, we would not have the MCU. Some
that's absolutely true.
I know. You and me, we both say that. There are some out there that would disagree, but everybody's entitled to their opinion. But a movie of this magnitude with a script that was only 90 pages.
It was only 90 pages, and you got to remember, Marvel works on a very finite way, so this is not unprecedented that we've lost a director who wants to make something their certain way, but it's not the MCU way, and that's probably where production got troubled, and Mahershala Ali was probably frustrated because the director wants his vision made, but the MCU wants their thing done their way.
Right.
The only thing I would have done, and this is not a stab at Sam Raimi, but with Werewolf by Night coming out, and with as good as it's being said, and as terrifying and as gory as it's going to be, the fact that it's black and white, in order to get some of this shown on thing, I'm kind of wondering why they just didn't get that director back to do Blade.
Well, that's the thing that makes me wonder about that, is that what happened with, because you're exactly right. We've heard a lot of great things about Werewolf by Night. I can't wait to see it personally.
I just can't wait for everybody to just start saying giant-sized man thing, because we all know it's going to.
True. I mean, nothing wrong with that. You are actually gonna see that, but really at the same time, this is where I sit there and say, and you are right. Marvel has a certain way of how they want things done. I will completely and utterly agree with that. But like I said, with it being Blade, though, that's where I sat there and I wonder, okay, is the fact that because, Blade has had such, successful trilogy, I guess, if you will, under Wesley Snipes. So it does make you wonder if, maybe the direction of the script writing didn't match what was going on. But if Kevin Feige says that the action scenes were crap, that must have been some, for lack of better words, some really shitty script writing. It had to be. But again, it's one of those things, like I said before, it started off sounding bad, but realistically, it actually wound up being good, because Sam Raimi, I love Multiverse of Madness. It was exactly what we needed. I think he can do great with Blade, but as I said, it just depends on what we see, because they're going to start filming in November. And in November, that was the worst segue ever. So I apologize. I was trying to think of a better way to introduce this, because as we get close to November, we are getting close to the end of Phase 4 with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, in which Winston Duke, who plays M'Baku, did share some photos. Now, of course, there are more photos out there, but these are the ones that are showing here. With his upgraded armor and staff, and of course the Dora Milaje, which again, badass to the hilt. And of course, you see, various photos that you go through, which again, everything from minute detail to makeup to clothing to just everything. I am looking forward to this come next month. I really am. Although, in my opinion, guys, every time I see Angela Bassett, I'm just like, why? Why could she have been Storm? I'm sorry. Every time Angela Bassett talks or moves or commands the presence, I'm like, that's the voice of Saul. That is the voice of Soul. Why can't? And again, I'm not knocking it, but I know the reason why. Like I said, we covered the story over why she's not Storm, but I'm sorry. For me, it's like, you should have been Storm. You really should have been. But again, from the photos wise, it just looks awesome. Of course, Black Panther comes out in November. That's going to mark the end of Phase 4, which will link us into Phase 5 for the MCU. But any thoughts on Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Joe, before we move on to DC for a little bit?
Well, we know for a fact that we got told that this is going to be almost a 3-hour movie.
Yeah. Which we're used to. Hey,
Endgame
and Infinity War has trained us. We have been trained. Actually, if you want to be honest, if you sat through Justice League's The Snyder Cut, you've been trained, because that was practically 4 hours. But what are you going to say?
It was 2.5, because I had it on 2 times speed.
Dang. you fast forward. Damn. Okay.
I don't got time to sit there for that long.
I'm with you, but then again, I watched it just because Ari the King of Geek Salad said that it was going to be great, and well, that's the last time I take him at his word. But with Black Panther coming out, guys, I think it's going to be great. I can't wait to see who is the person that's in the mask. Speculation is going to run wild, but technically, if you saw the toys, especially the Lego sets that came out, they kind of already answered that question. However, again, I know how some folks are. Wait till the movie comes out. Can't knock that. But also, moving on to DC for a little bit, guys, we did talk about the fact that, you know, a lot of DC projects were in failure of being scrapped. Some, you know, like Doom Patrol, which again was renewed for another season. DC's Titans also renewed for another season. Young Justice has become a comic book. So a lot of people were concerned about certain other projects out there, considering the fact that the Wonder Twins has been scrapped. The Green Lantern development project is in limbo, I guess you can call it. But one of the bigger ones was Blue Beetle, in which Blue Beetle, as of Wednesday, did get the okay from Warner Bros. Discovery, that sat there and said that yes, Blue Beetle is moving forward, which I'm happy about, because I think DC needs a win. It does. It really does. I still think it's going to get a win, regardless of what happens with Flash. But the fact that Blue Beetle is moving forward with Warner Brothers Discovery's blessing does make me feel a little bit at ease. But Joe, what about you?
Oh, I tuned out when you said Flash.
How do you feel about Blue Beetle being supported?
Oh, I'm definitely down for this. I'm gonna watch a movie about Jaime, especially if it's got Ted in it.
He said because if I tuned out when I heard Flash. That was
Sorry.
funny. No, don't apologize. That was funny. He's not tuned out when I heard Flash. But no,
No, I'm really hyped for this. I'm a huge Blue Beetle fan. Not that I dislike Jaime, but my personal favorite is Ted Kord, who I just call well-adjusted Batman because that's what he is.
yeah, pretty much.
I mean, there's not too much to say. I've always enjoyed when Jaime shows up. He's one of those DC characters that in every iteration he has shown up in live action, the suit has not been that bad. Even back in the Smallville's day, where it looks like high quality cosplay, it still wasn't that bad of a suit.
Oh,
I mean, the Blue Beetle costume looked better than the Doomsday suit in Small I'll say that much.
Oh, the Blue Beetle costume
It
looked
wasn't
awesome. So.
just Doomsday Dave Bautista.
Pretty much.
Okay then.
But no, but I'm looking forward to that. The fact that they sat there and said, I think, quote unquote, they said that they told me not to worry. The film has their full support. So again, it's glad that the directors came out and said, you know, we're not facing the same fate as Batgirl, but I still think that Batgirl, if I'm not gonna say back, I mean, well, technically, since they wrote it off, they can't show it anyway, which is a tragedy. But you know, somebody in DC could do the world a favor and leak it. We won't complain. But Blue Beetle going forward does make us feel very secure in possible DC movies. Although, as Joe has said so politely about the Flash, yeah, we don't got a lot of hope in that. I mean, I would love to see Michael Keaton, but the fact that Ezra Miller is still getting a shot, well, that mystifies me. But moving on. I almost forgot the other Marvel news that I had. That Marvel is changing Armor Wars from a Disney Plus show to a movie. And of course, we were all wondering because it wasn't mentioned at D23. And I believe it wasn't mentioned during the Marvel presentation. But what are you going to say, Joe?
I think I know what happened.
Feel free.
I think their show budget was not going to cover what they need to do, so they had to shift over to a film budget.
I got a different. I mean, I can see that budget wise, but I also have another theory. I think
they're going to be. This is also what I feel is going to be a predominantly black casted movie, which I am all for.
Yeah.
I feel like this is definitely Don Cheadle's earned movie.
Mm-hmm.
We might see Carol depending on what the relationship is. It was kind of hinted at in Endgame, but you know we haven't really gone anywhere with that.
I still say we're gonna.
We may carry on with Ironheart from Black Panther, which I swear to God, it is not my fault. The first toys of her came out, I legit thought that was a new form of Deoxys. Like if I did not read Marvel ahead of it's like, oh hell, Deoxys is going to be in Scarlet and Violet. Then I was like, oh wait, that says Ironheart.
Oh
No,
god.
look at the toys
Mhm.
for Ironheart and tell me you don't see Deoxys.
No. I'm not gonna argue. That's why I closed my eyes and I was like, nope, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. But that's but
Like
that's
Deoxys with a railgun.
but that's what I was saying though, is just that's why that's why I think, well, besides budget, I think that's why they're moving into a movie, because I think they're trying to give Ironheart more depth. I think by probably by attaching her to Armor Wars, it does kind of fit the narrative a little bit. And I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be against it because Don Cheadle, to me, does deserve his own movie. And there's plenty of War Machine stories that can be used for Armor Wars. I just hope they don't use the one that's particularly gory, but depending on how Marvel feels, they may go left, they may go right. It's hard to say. But I'm just looking forward to it because I have no issues with that. I think I'm not saying we got spoiled with the short 6 and 8 and 9 episode series, but I think that deserves a movie in itself. But no, I am completely okay with the fact that Armor Wars is going to be a movie instead of a television series. I got no problem with that. But if we do get that Ironheart War Machine tag up, that's all I ask. If there's a certain villain, which I don't want to jinx it and say who it is, but I'll just be happy if I see a certain suit. That's all I'm going to say. If I see a certain suit, I'm going to be extremely freaking happy. But yeah, but that's kind of it. Oh, that's not it. That's not it. Joe, I was going to ask you about this because this next article is going to be pertaining to your favorite series, Thunderbolts. It is a rumor right now, and I say rumor. Let me stress this very heavily. Rumor that, of course, Mr. Han Solo himself, Harrison Ford, may be in the running to be the next General Ross of the MCU. And of course, down here is someone that decided to do some artwork about that, showing Harrison Ford as Ross. And I was going to ask you, Joe, because I know Thunderbolts are near and dear to your heart. Do you think in the recasting of General Ross, would Harrison Ford be the right casting? Or if not, did you have somebody else in mind?
Oh, God, no. That man is the perfect amount of crotchety old general.
The crotchety old general. The crotchety old general. Okay, I figure I'd ask.
No, that's perfect casting. It's just everyone's got this thing mind where it's like if we have Thunderbolt Ross, we have to have Red Hulk, and it's like we don't have to have Red Hulk.
No,
it's like we can have Red Hulk later. I want to see like these guys get duped, be called the Thunderbolts, and Zemo over there with like Atlas, Songbird, Mark II, and Moonstone over there and just gently wave.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. I agree with that. I mean, if it does go through, and Harrison Ford does become the next General Ross in the Thunderbolts, or just overall in the MCU, I will not complain. I think that's great. But yeah, crotchety old general.
The biggest issue I see with this is that you have the camp that wants Chadwick Boseman to Black Panther to be recasted. And everyone says no, and a large majority, including like MCU and Disney, say no, we're not going to do that. But they see no problem potentially recasting Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
Those are two completely different level of characters, people. And the only reason we should be recasting Chadwick Boseman is for Secret Wars when we get a different universe as Black Panther.
There you go.
Or some other bizarre reason, like it's his secret child, which if we keep going at this rate, that would be viable, considering I will be 50 by the time we're in phase 7.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'll be 41 when Secret War comes out.
I'm right behind you, so you wouldn't be wrong.
But there are so many other things to stand on a hill for this recasting thing. Like I said, we already know Harrison Ford can play a crotchety old general. He
Yeah.
was General Solo in the Star Wars sequel trilogy. He did fine. He he can get a lightsaber put through him. He can get a number of things put through him in this movie.
Although
If he wants to be Red Hulk, that's fine, because if there's anything that, if you look at Harrison Ford and have followed what this man's attitude and work ethic is like, he wants something he doesn't do on a normal basis. That's why he hated playing Han Solo, because he's a pilot before he is an actor. He said that multiple times. I hated Han Solo because there was no acting in there for me.
right.
Or his favorite line was, I wanted to learn what the Millennium Falcon was because I'm a pilot, and George Lucas would just say, just lift that handle. oh, George Lucas's will be done in the Kermit the Frog voice. It just fits with him.
Dear God.
So like that's why he likes doing Indiana Jones more than he does Han Solo, because Indiana Jones, he's not playing himself.
Right.
If he's Thunderbolt Ross, he's not playing himself.
Although
He
he
is the right amount of crotchety old man that
Although
can't let grudge go.
Although, side note, I am looking forward to seeing the last Indiana Jones movie he's going to be in, because I just want to see, grumpy Indiana Jones just to see how that would go.
What do you mean? We saw that in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, we don't talk about that movie.
That was actually not that bad.
I agree to disagree. But okay. That being said, some other video game news we had, guys. If you are a Google Stadia owner, unfortunately, I have some very bad news for you. Google is moving forward.
You put it to you this way: Do you like what they did with Google Glasses? Congratulations, it's your time now.
Damn. I forgot about Google Glasses. Damn.
You're only making my point.
I forgot about Google Glasses. Damn. they so thought. Oh, side note, they really did think Google Glasses was just gonna just shock the world, by the way. But anyway, if you are a Google Stadia owner of equipment and services, Google will be shutting down their video game streaming service next year, January the 18th, 2023. All purchases will be refunded, and the technology that still in place will be used for YouTube and other parts of the business. But as far as the gaming streaming service itself, it will be shut down. Now, again, it's only been up for a few years. Initially, when it first came out, we were just getting introduced to cloud gaming. If you really think about it, I think at the time, if memory serves me right, at the time that Google Stadia came out, there was not a PS4 remote play, and there wasn't Xbox Anywhere, to where Xbox and Sony were actually using cloud gaming to remote play from wherever you are, as long as you have an internet connection. But since Xbox and PlayStation did actually embrace cloud gaming, it did kind of kill what Google was trying to do. At the same time, it made me wonder, because with Google Stadia and Alexa's gaming, Lumina, that also may be depending on how Amazon feels, that also may be on the ropes. But Joe, do you think that maybe Google Stadia just the reason why it's failing, just because it was just a sign of the times, or just that it wasn't able to keep up with what consoles are able to do now?
It's just what Google does. It makes something. It's just Google is just trying to be Apple and just doesn't succeed in any of it, in a whole lot of its ventures.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. You said Google's trying to be Apple and doesn't succeed. I was like, damn. I'm sorry. That stuck out to me.
I mean, I'm not wrong.
No, you're
trying
not.
to innovate, and I applaud them for trying to innovate and everything, but like they just don't stick with it. If it's not immediate success, they don't take the time to stick it out in the long run. I mean, God knows how many versions of the iPod sucked before they got it right.
That's true. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I wasn't really a fan of, I'm not a fan of any Apple products anyway. But I do have to admit, when Apple did come out with the iPod and then came out with that, what was it? After the iPod video, I think it was like the Touch or something was called. I admit, and plus the music service, before everybody realized you didn't really buy music, you just bought the opportunity to play said music. You bought the opportunity to play. Say what?
Which minor spinoff, people that own Final Space,
Mm-hmm.
they are learning the hard way that digital media is not the way to go because Warner Brothers is now removing Final Space from your personal libraries.
Oh wow! So it just in all of things that it just says a lot. But yeah, I'm not surprised by that. But yeah, unfortunately with cloud gaming, it seems to be it's either consoles or PC. At first it was a great idea that you could, as long as you had an internet connection, a television that was capable of actually streaming, you could play games anywhere. It's just the fact that consoles catch up. And really quick, that's the way it is when it comes to the video game industry. It's like either your Xbox, either your Sony, your Nintendo, or your PC/Steam. It just doesn't have a market just because of how fast everything adapts when you first do cloud gaming, which I'm enjoying very much. But again, so Google still got money, so they're not hurting that bad. But some really quick news, guys. Two things before we get to some Mighty Morphin news that Joe has got. First off, Bleach, the 1,000-year Blood War. I cannot wait for the next. We haven't got a schedule of when the first episode is going to air. We know it's going to air in October. So again, the fact that it's the 30th now, tomorrow's October 1st, it's literally final countdown. But really quick news I did want to share about that is that the original voice actors the original English voice actors, along with their Japanese counterparts, will be returning for the series. Specifically, if you're like a buddy of mine who loves the English versions, I'm more of a sub person just because I'm used to reading subtitles, but no judgment whether you're a sub or a dub. But Johnny Young Bosch, if you'll remember, former Power Ranger, also voice of Ichigo in Bleach, has been confirmed to return to his role. Michelle Ruff, who will actually voice Rukia Kuchiki, Derek Stephen Prince, who was Yuri Yoshida. Almost everybody, I think, if I've got this right. Yep. Wally Ringard is Renji, Doug Earlholtz is Kisuke. So everybody on the English side is coming back to voice in Bleach for the 1,000-year Blood War, which is actually pretty cool. But I still cannot wait for this series because I've read the anime. I'm sorry, that's wrong. I've read the manga, and the manga is beautiful. I just hope that the anime lives up to the manga. But Joe, any thoughts on our original voice actors coming to Bleach?
Oh, they announced this a while ago because they had a online chat between the Japanese voice actor and the English voice actor.
Oh,
after this first got announced, it was a whole big 10-minute conversation between the two.
Oh, damn, I missed it. Okay, I missed it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited for it. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. This is just a hellaciously what's a good word for it?
Are you looking for a good word or just
everything coming at you at once anime-wise? The season is nuts.
It's buffet. It's buffet. It's like if Golden Corral decided to be launched out of a mortar round at your face. That's about the best way I could put it. You're getting everything that you want in 1 month. And trust me, if you were watching our podcast from 2 weeks ago, I think we went over the list of everything. Well, almost everything that was coming out. So, and I think it was about 30, 35 different animes will be restarting back.
Yeah.
About 30, 35, if memory serves me right. But again, looking forward to it. But Joe also has some news as well regarding Power Rangers. Just let me know when you're ready to cue it up, Joe.
It's a Facebook video. I couldn't find it on YouTube.
Oh, hang on. I'll get it. I'll get it. All right. Give me a second.
I don't even think Shadow's seen this, so he'll go nuts.
Oh, dang! Could you at least? unmute yourself? Okay, there we go.
We're coming to you live from set in New Zealand, where we are working on something really special to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers. Now, I can't give you too many details quite yet, but I will tell you that it's going to be an epic celebration, and I, for one, am super excited to be here working with an old friend. Isn't that right?
Yo, what's up, Ranger Nation? It's your boy Walter Emmanuel Jones.
Hey, Ranger Nation, David Yost here, coming to you live from set in New Zealand, where we are working on something really special to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers. Now, I can't give you too many details quite yet, but I will tell you that it's going to be an epic celebration, and I, for one, am super excited to be here working with an old friend. Isn't that right?
Yo, what's up, Ranger Nation? It's your boy Walter Emmanuel Jones, also known as Zach, the OG Black Ranger. Hey, yes, we're having a great time. And I got to say, it's kind of hard to believe that we're celebrating a 30th anniversary. You look too good. Hey, but we're excited to be here on set, and I can't wait to celebrate and see you guys next year.
You know what time it is? It's morphin' time!
I'm not even mad. Although, shout out to whoever fixed Walter Jones's hairline, because if you guys remember the infamous hairline from one of his episodes, woo, that hairline was the whispering of a lifetime. But that's actually pretty cool. But what other news do you got, Joe, about Cosmic Fury?
Oh yeah, no, they got a lot of weird stuff with Cosmic Fury. We're getting semi-original Power Ranger suits for Cosmic Fury. They have actually decided not to use the Q Ranger footage, but they are using the Zord footage.
Okay.
Which is going to be interesting. They have all new, like I said, semi-original suits. So this has been the first time since the Titanium Ranger in Rescue. Which one was it? Rescue Force?
Okay,
no, Lightspeed
Rescue.
Lightspeed Rescue, since we've had original Ranger costumes.
Okay.
We also know that Steve Cardenas, Rocky, is going to be back as well. That he's already confirmed that.
Okay.
I said it's a 30th anniversary issue. I want to know if they're going to attribute anything for the comics, because Zach kind of just went off to nowhere, and Billy got with an Equation woman, so I wonder if he's got a half human, half fish kid now.
It does kind of make you
or
wonder.
If that Equation Ranger turned out to be Billy Love Interest number 574.
Possible. I mean, don't get me wrong. 30 years. Good God, I feel old.
Not to mention Billy Yost, like or not Billy Yost, David Yost. I'm combining his actor and the person. David Yost did not leave under the best circumstances, so it's like a miracle that man is willing to come back and work with Saban again.
Yeah, because for all those that don't know, David Yost was constantly
they did him dirty.
To be constantly harassed, to be just disrespected, and he was on Mighty Morphin for, good God, I want to say a decade, because he was there during Mighty Morphin, he was there during Aqua, the Alien Rangers, and he was there during Zeo. So that's what
Zeo.
I want to say that's a good 9 years.
Yeah.
I want to say he was there for 9 years he put up with that. I mean, but you're right, for him to come back and be on board with this, like I said, I hope the treatment is different. I really hope. But then again, hey, I'd watch it just because the OG Power Rangers that I grew up with want to be on this. So I'm kind of curious to see where it goes from there. But other Power Ranger news we have as well is that on the comic book side, Joe, I think you may have already sent this to me. Here we go. That there is an announcement that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, which will be the next comic book series from Boom Studios, will be available in December 2022. But Joe, did you have any more news on that besides the announcement?
No, nothing really there. I mean, we have that Kyle Abbott, previous writer and current writer of the Ultraman Marvel series, and Radiant Black will be returning to do this. Dan Mora will be doing the artwork, which means this book will look fantastic. So, pretty good.
I'm looking forward to it, but
Mhm.
then again, just to see, I mean, I'm the fact that it still does not beat. I'm sorry, I am partial to Ninja Turtles because series like this I usually don't read, but Teenage Mutant Turtles, and Batman, to where Michelangelo gets the okay from Batman to push the buttons. That to me is still my favorite scene, but again, we're looking forward to it. Also, guys, some other news before we get into our She-Hulk review. I'm gonna be honest about Star Wars Andor. It is worth watching. There is so much detail in the episodes that just know that it's pretty much spycraft. It's like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy for Star Wars, just from Cassian Andor's storytelling. So I still highly recommend that you watch it. I'm going to wait until the series end to actually really talk about it, see how they're doing it, because this is actually Star Wars' first experiment of telling a story that does not include Jedi or Siths outside of the Mandalorian. But technically, the Mandalorian did have, they had Grogu, but you see the point I'm trying to make here. So it'll be interesting to see where it's going to come from on Star Wars Andor. But really quickly, because again, me and Joe were looking forward to this one because, like I said,
Well, hold on.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Did you see the Starkiller armor?
Recently?
Andor episode 4 had the Starkiller armor. Like the DLC armor, like the DLC Sith armor from Force Awakens 2 is in episode 4.
That might have been the part of the episode I may need to go back and watch because I might have missed that part.
It's in the shop episode where the dude's talking to Mon Mothma.
Oh, I looked down. I was multitasking at the time, so I looked away when that probably happened. I'm going to go back and go find that.
Oh, you can't miss it. It's right there.
Yeah, but I was doing 6 different things.
As for me, I fell asleep watching this episode.
I was going to ask you about that.
I was very happy that the Empire, of all people, hold the police accountable for their actions.
Although that one dude tried just a little too hard,
and then has to go home to mom.
Yeah, he was trying just a little too hard. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, but we're
and then the ISB, it's just like, we don't have time for this BS. We don't have time for you to try and power move your way into higher jurisdiction. Stay in your lane until you give us better evidence.
Pretty much. But Star Wars Andor is worth watching, so definitely do that.
50-50. Like I said, I fell asleep in the middle of this episode.
It was just a slow burn. The slow burn eventually has to pick up.
There's a slow burn, and then there's carrying the match to the wick.
True. Can't argue that. I cannot argue that at all. You're exactly right. But like I said, I hope it picks up. It should pick up just because of where they're going. Just because of where they're going next in the story. So I'm hoping. Keyword hoping. But before we get into She-Hulk and that awesome episode, guys, if you're like me and Joe and you are a Gundam fan, especially with the next series, The Witch from Mercury, coming out, I do have some unfortunate news for right now. That it was supposed to be streaming episode 1 of Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury at Gundam.info on YouTube. Unfortunately, they did get a statement saying that it has been postponed due to unforeseen circumstances. An updated schedule for the streaming will be available on the official website. Thank you for your understanding. They didn't say exactly how long it would be, but I would have to think that usually when it's a delay, it may be a week or so before we actually get the premiere. I don't think it's going to be disastrous as far as us waiting another month, because as me and Joe have shown bits and pieces of the trailer, and of course the actual, I guess, do we call it a prologue episode that's currently still out there? Or do we?
It is a prologue. It is actually listed as even in Crunchyroll, episode 0 prologue.
Thank you. So again, you should go back if you haven't yet to see it. You can definitely see it on Crunchyroll or Gundam.info. Unfortunately, on Crunchyroll, you can't see Bleach anymore just because, well, Disney decided to snatch up Bleach. But you can watch it on Disney Plus or Hulu. But
I thought that was utter BS. Is that actually a thing?
that is a thing. If you go on Twitter right now, Crunchyroll, there are people who have Crunchyroll and literally sat there and said one guy sat there and said that he was watching Bleach on Crunchyroll, and in the middle of watching Bleach, it just got pulled. So, and he was sitting there saying the entire time, he says, really, Crunchyroll, right as I'm in the middle of the Bleach, you pull the episode. That's harsh. But
I'm
again,
checking Crunchyroll right now.
Say what?
I'm checking Crunchyroll right now.
Well, you can't say we don't verify on this show. You cannot say we don't verify. But no, unfortunately, but the news of that is that yes, because I guess, well, we did report that Disney was going to be buying the rights to Bleach, and technically, someone had joked on Twitter that sat there and said, "Dang, how much the rights to Chainsaw Man cost Crunchyroll to where they were going to give up Bleach?" And all I could sit there and say was, "Damn." I mean, it's funny as hell, it really is, but yeah, I mean, unfortunately, as I'm looking this up and as Joe is looking this up,
Well, Bleach
I don't
is
mean
on Disney Plus, so
it's not on Disney Plus.
no.
Yep, it's definitely not on Crunchyroll.
One moment, I bet I know where it is.
Oh, it's gonna be on Hulu because I can see my Hulu from here. I can see my Hulu from here. I can see Bleach. So Bleach is still on Hulu. I can confirm that. But it is definitely not on Crunchyroll. It does make me wonder if other news is going to come out about that. Now that I think about it, but still, that's funny as all get out. But where was I? As Joe was still looking stuff up. Oh boy. Well, as Joe is basically confirming, aside from Hulu where you can find Bleach, guys. Really, I just wanted to go ahead because, like I said, the only thing that we could give a review on this week would really be She-Hulk. Episode 7. Keep in mind, we sat there and said about She-Hulk, She-Hulk is rounding up. It is rounding up. And Joe, I want you to start with this, sir. What did you think of the most recent episode of She-Hulk?
We have another mutant in there.
Yeah. You actually had. I was gonna ask you, what did you think of the I won't say surprise guest, but I guess you can call them guests. The fact that we got to see Man Bull, El Aguila, Porcupine, and Sarson. I mean, in a group home of all things.
Oh yeah. Wow.
I mean, that to me was funny. The fact that you saw all these guys literally in Abomination again. Okay, let me kind of paint the scene here. Of course, if you have not seen She-Hulk, guys, especially episode 7, now would be the good time to probably mute us for the next few minutes. Aside from that, this episode starts off as, of course, the Abomination, as they did a recap, the fact that Abomination did get paroled, that Blonsky can't transform him anymore, actually has an inhibitor on there / tracking anklet. Of course, his parole officer finds Jen, says that something's wrong with Blonsky's anklet. Come to find out that he just was in some extracurricular activities, but no harm, no foul. Where Jen also runs into Man Bull, who decides to make her Prius into a trash compactor. This eventually leads to her staying while waiting for the tow truck, as she kind of takes Abomination's therapy course. So Blonsky is literally trying to get her to be in touch with herself, as Jen, who thought she found a great guy with Josh, is being ghosted. The entire episode of them working out her problems with men has to be the highlight of the series so far to me. But at the end of it all, she does actually delete the guy's number. Of course, she makes friends with everybody. And at the very end, we see where Josh was the entire time, that he may have been the sleeper agent. And he texted somebody a la Hulk King, of course, saying that he may have gotten a blood sample from Jen herself. So overall, that episode was really great. I thought it had a lot of fun parts to it. Again, no post-credit scene. I think that I think Marvel's kind of on to us about this. That they're only giving us post-credit scenes, and still we don't have a Daredevil appearance yet. As it was,
the next 2 episodes are going to be Daredevil.
I could say that, but it makes me wonder: are we going to get 2 things of Daredevil? It makes me wonder.
Like Daredevil will be coming in the finale of the next episode, and then we'll get a full-on Daredevil episode as the finale.
You know what? I was on that mindset, but I think we're only gonna get 1 episode of it. I think we'll maybe get 1 episode of Daredevil, and that's gonna be it. And not to say that, not to say that She-Hulk has been great. It has been great on its own. It is a vehicle. That whole thing has been a vehicle for Jen to enter the MCU, and that was great. I'm not knocking that, but again, we do want to see a man to see Daredevil, to see Charlie Cox reprise his role again. It's gonna be awesome, and especially since he's actually in a more traditional suit from the comics. Because I've seen some people go, "Wait a minute, that suit's not all the way red." That tells me that you've never read a Daredevil comic. You'll see that he has a certain type of suit in there, and it's accurate. Let it ride. But
I've already seen people on Facebook saying that they wish they went with the run of She-Hulk that didn't break the 4th wall. It's like, you don't understand the character then. Can't help you.
This is why I try not to go into rants, because these okay, let me first stress this heavily. I never want to dismay new people to comics, because a lot of people are being introduced to the MCU via the shows and the movies. Welcome, join. We have plenty of space. We're ordering membership jackets. Would you like a cookie? That's what we should be doing. That being said, we do always encourage you, especially on this podcast, guys. The comics are the source for all of this. If you've never read a She-Hulk comic, 4th wall breaking is normal. She's just like Deadpool. She looks at the reader, and pretty much what you saw on the show is what you get in the comic book runs.
Well, I mean, the majority of people that are saying this, and they say they read comics, and I won't argue with them. I guarantee you their only knowledge of this, and that's fine if this is your first book.
Right.
To the character, but a lot of people want the super buff She-Hulk, and I'm like, you've only read the Jason Aaron run. I can tell you've only read the Jason Aaron run. I don't know why you want to read the Jason Aaron run, but God bless you. It's your first book. Go for it.
And that's what we try not to do. We try not to dismay people, but it's almost like what was the last thing that we sat there and said that we knew people weren't reading comics that were complaining? We said, I think it was in WandaVision. Something in WandaVision where it was like, I forgot exactly what it was, and we sat there and said they never read a comic, because that's exactly how it went. It'll come back to me later what it was. I don't know if it was her outfit or something that she said. But overall, She-Hulk this week, great episode. I mean, Joe says that we might get 2 shots of Daredevil. I think we're only going to get 1, just because, like I said, we're rounding out near the end of She-Hulk. And, of course, it's amazing how they kind of time it, just because we're going to have a little bit of a lull before we get to Wakanda Forever. But I digress. But Joe, any other news, sir, that we have before we move on to comic books, or did we miss anything? I just want to make sure.
We had like a lot of stuff. Sam Raimi, Ninja Turtles, the Coolio thing.
Oh, damn. Yes. Rest in peace, Coolio.
The Community thing.
I forgot about Coolio. As you're talking about that, yeah, Coolio did pass away, and he is, I think, Futurama. He was actually recording lines for Futurama that'll still be broadcasted.
Yep, he is going to be Kwanzaa-bot.
Cool. So I'm surprised Futurama. I mean, I guess I should be surprised Futurama's still on. It's a Matt Groening show. So, I mean, The Simpsons are still on, so that says a lot. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised by that. But what else we got?
Are we showing the Last of Us 2 teaser trailer and Last of Us teaser trailer and
I was going to ask you
stuff?
I can do that. Because I watched The Last of Us and that trailer. What were your, just as I'm pulling this up, what was your opinions on it?
Yeah, I didn't see it.
You didn't?
No.
Okay, give me a second. I can fix that. Give me 1 second. Because I wanted your opinion on this. So, un momento, por favor. Okay, let's see what you like. Here we go.
The roses have faded, there's frost at my door. The birds in the morning don't sing anymore. The grass in the valley is starting to die, and out in the darkness the whippoorwills cry. The darkness is falling, the sky has turned gray. A hound in the distance is starting to fade. Alone and forsaken by fate and by man. Oh Lord, if you hear me, please hold my hand. Alone and forsaken by fate and by man. Oh Lord,
this is your chance.
Hear me, please hold my hand.
Our best shot.
Hold my hand.
We keep her alive.
Hold my hand. Please hold my hand.
And you said everything right.
Hold my hand. Please hold my hand.
Save her, you can save her.
Oh, please understand.
So I gotta ask you, Joe, that's your first time seeing it. What'd you think?
Who the hell did the casting on this? No one looks right.
I got it. I mean, well, Pedro Pascal was always going to play Joe.
Oh, he looks nothing like Joel.
I can't argue that. I cannot argue that.
And I have nothing against the child actors, but no one looks like their character in this trailer one damn bit.
I'm going to be honest because I had to sit there and say this to people. As much as The Last of Us, in my opinion, great game. Part one, great game. Emotional roller coaster, absolutely. Will drive you crazy, especially the clicker that you see right there. Great design. If it follows the game, if it follows part one, like I think it's going to follow, I wonder how far it's going to go. Because we've seen brutality as far as Walking Dead goes, and Walking Dead has went some extremes actually. But now The Last of Us that's coming out, it's like, is it wrong to sit there and say that if you played the game, why watch the series? I mean, that's the thing about video game adaptations that bother me. It's like Tomb Raider. I didn't want to go see Tomb Raider. I played the reboot, so why would I go watch the movie? Which is where a lot of people really had that same mindset to where the movie didn't do so well. Actually, I think it took I want to say they took a loss on that. So, I mean, you've played The Last of Us. Does this, watching that trailer, does that make you want to, invest your time into that series?
I didn't play Halo, so we'll just go with Halo. My answer is Halo.
Would you watch the series though? Okay, just from a viewership standpoint, would you watch the series?
No.
I mean, you're not wrong about that. I'm sorry. It's like for me,
I'm sure that I'm bet the acting is fantastic, and it's going to be something everybody talks about. And
Yeah.
if they do, I can talk about it with them because I've played the game. But no one looks like they should. And if you're going to betray it off of something,
right.
you need to have them look a little bit like the character.
I got one question to ask because I mean Pedro Pascal, I could see it if he was, because let's be honest, Joe is a guy who's a little bit beefier, a little bit more.
Should have been Joel.
That's what I was asking.
This much money, they should have gotten Viggo Mortensen. If he was younger, I would have said guy that does Qui-Gon Jinn when he was younger from his Taken days.
Liam Neeson?
Yeah, I would have taken Liam Neeson.
Darker hair and maybe more facial hair and darker. I could kind of see that. I don't think this is the issue with this is the issue when we're doing certain things about video game adaptations. I don't think, and if you're watching this on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and Twitch, guys, put it out there. I can't think of anybody.
It's going to be hard to cast somebody to look identical to the character.
I mean, but
girl that Ellie looks so far removed from Ellie that I just cannot say that is her. Like Joel, we will give a pass because we know Pedro Pascal will put every bit of acting effort into it, and it will be believable and passable. And I'm sure the girl that does Ellie will probably be a fantastic actress. But it is like I said with Halo. I was on board until he took the helmet off. At this point, with this trailer, that helmet is off. These people do not look like they should from the video game, which is, again, I stress, hard to do. But this is Hollywood. They have the ability to cast correctly. Their casting director did a shit job.
I was going to point this out. Halo got renewed for another season.
I'm sure we'll see his kids and him boning one of the Spartans in this one, or we'll get character select for the female Spartan.
I just want to point that out. Halo on Paramount Plus got renewed.
That's fine.
But no,
let's just put it this way. I hope to God we get FemShep, because at least I'll watch then. But
I highly doubt we get that. What'd you say, Lucky Blur? Nah, for me, it was a movie first, and then again, then I'd mess with it because there would be more story you can expand on and explore that you can do in the confines of a film. Okay, fair.
Oh yeah, no, they're gonna hyper speed this one because this is not Last of Us Part 1, like as in half a movie.
Yeah,
we're gonna just go like. They're going to cut out maybe a third of, maybe more than half of this game. Like,
oh yeah,
they will do the stuff with Tess, stuff without Tess. They're going to go to the city that's run by that one dude. They're going to completely cut out the black kid and his little brother that gets infected.
Yeah, that was part of
the video game, guys, but that's an old game. I don't care. They're going to cut out the zoo part, which was probably the best part.
I think they'll keep the zoo. The zoo was more integral part of the story. I think they'll keep the zoo.
Okay, they'll keep the zoo, and then we're gonna smash cut right to the hospital.
Yeah. Well, they have to explain the ranch. The ranch was on the way to the hospital.
What we see minor flashbacks of the DLC.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many episodes the show is, so they could probably get more than I'm expecting, but I don't think they're going to get like maybe but a half of it.
Fair. Also, thank you, Lucky Blur, for commenting, man. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it.
Yes.
But the thing about it is, though, I mean, I would still watch it. I'm with you on that. I think it is going to be a cut job. I think it will be. But I just don't know. I mean,
for me, it's a miscasting of appearance, but I also understand it's a video game. We cannot get identical people, but I still feel they could cast better looking people aside from, well, even including Pedro Pascal. Like, like I said, they're going to act their butts off. I don't doubt that. But I also feel like it's miscasting for some of these people. Oh, there we go. John Krasinski.
Yeah, beefier
Well,
John
a little too
Krasinski.
young for that.
If he was beefier, I'd say yes.
Well, I mean, that it's Hollywood. That's not hard for him to gain muscle.
True, or put on a muscle suit. But I see your point, though. But I'll still give it a fair shot just because I think The Walking Dead kind of spoiled end of the world shows, because I can't find the word I want to say right now. I think The Walking Dead kind of spoiled that just because we're so used to, if ended by zombies or if ended by disease or famine. So The Last of Us really doesn't kind of entice you, I guess. But it's still worth watching, in my opinion. I'll still give it a fair shot. But again, in the comments, you let us know how you guys think. I mean, you think it's worth watching? If you don't know it's worth watching, just, hey, let us know and we'll go from there. But what news we got, Joe?
We got my favorite episode of Lower Decks of all times happened this week.
I haven't seen it, but go ahead and say it.
Right, here you go. Play the clip.
Oh, you sent me the link. Okay.
You got a clip. Hopefully it's not thing. I just grabbed this randomly. I just hope it's not a reaction video to this, but
Hey, hang on. I'll look first before I play it. Hang on.
Let's see. Captain Freeman, we're approaching the rendezvous.
Oh, no, we're good. Okay,
we're good.
Let's see. Captain Freeman, we're approaching the rendezvous point. Bring us out of warp.
Tacky Cardassian fascist eyesore.
Helm, just buy me some time to read up on the Karma. Sir, how do we do that?
I don't know. Just circle around and pretend we're in awe of the pylons.
Yes, sir.
Just keep circling.
Oh, the level of petty. The level of petty with this.
So, this is the DS9 episode for Lower Decks, which is officially my favorite episode of all of Lower Decks. I am incredibly biased as I am a Deep Space fanboy. If you guys see me out in public in Nashville, I am always wearing a DS9ers baseball cap. For reasons aside from it being DS9, but that is one of the reasons. This was my favorite episode. We had Nana Visitor come back as Kara Neese, now Commander Kara Neese, because this is canonically taking place after the TV show.
So it's post the Dominion War. Got it.
It is post Dominion War. We get a species from the Dominion War coming back in this episode, and Quark also the voice actor for Quark comes back.
Nice.
And my sister points out, it's like they give that man a reason to scream in every episode, and this episode does not disappoint. We get plenty of Quark screaming there. On top of it, it's also a Tindy episode, which is my favorite character in the show, as she deals with someone who's also an Orion Starfleet officer who just loves the fact that Orions used to be pirates to hilarious comedic effects.
Oh, man, that gives me something to look forward to.
It's
also,
so good. I love it so much. And I'm also so incredibly biased.
But Lower Decks is on Paramount Plus, so if you ever do get a chance, I'm still catching up from the first season. But again, if you do watch it, it is definitely it is very funny, and the fact that clip of just the whole just circle around, but just circle around the pylons,
Keep
just
circling.
circle around the pylons.
Circle around the pylons, like we're reminding it.
Oh, dear
Keep
God,
circling.
that was petty. You said just circle the pylons as the music playing. But again,
even in the episode we go to Cork's bar, and I even did the same thing. The same thing from back in the day when I was little, when I saw Morn. I said the same way they do in Cheers whenever Norm comes in.
Damn.
Morn. I was happy. No, he doesn't say anything. He never says anything.
No, I was thinking of his brother. Moogie. I can't think of his name.
No, he doesn't appear in this. We do get Dabo though.
Oh well, Dabo's always going to be there. That's not surprising. But no,
I also do like that Cork is like, oh yeah, this is the original thing. I expanded to 23 franchises.
Damn.
Like, and then they goes like, well, don't you want to go first? Like, no, why would I want to oversaturate the market? I would lose money that way.
The rules of acquisition.
Which we did get rule of acquisition 9. Opportunity plus drive equals profit.
I thought it was 11.
Nope, this is 9.
Oh,
For
okay.
Steel City's gold latinum tooth.
Oh dear God! But what'd you say, Lucky? I'll watch it. Oh, I'll watch about 994. It grows on you. Lower Decks does grow on you, Lucky. Trust me. Because I was watching, I was like, okay, it's definitely how can I put this? If you like the Orville, you like Lower Decks, because I like the Orville by Seth MacFarlane. I thought that was pretty good too.
And if you like Lower Decks, you will also like the official Star Trek podcast Pod Directive, because Mariner's voice actor and the guy that does Mr. Peanut Butter from BoJack Horseman, who is also the bird ship's counselor in Lower Decks, does the podcast.
I was wondering why that voice sounded familiar. Okay. That's cool. But what else you got, Joe?
Do we actually have anything else? Let me look. My Hero Academia goofiness. I don't care about that until the Ultraman girl comes back.
Damn. Although My Hero is coming back. Again, guys, with My Hero, oh dear God.
Let me think.
There is so much anime coming. There is so much anime that's about to come out in the next couple of weeks. Again, if you're watching us on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, let us know what animes that you are looking forward to. Because I got a list. I'm not going to lie. I have a complete list of animes that I'm looking forward to. Specifically, I said I'm still, of course, Bleach, 1,000-Year War, My Hero, Fire Force. Oh, God, Fire Force. I need to go back and reread Fire Force so bad. But I'm sorry, Joe, what were you saying?
The Community movie. I forgot about that.
Oh, they're actually moving forward with it?
Community movie is happening at Peacock, fulfilling the show's prophecy.
So
it has been announced, however, it will be moving forward without Chevy Chase. Not a big loss. And without Donald Glover, which they say Donald Glover may make a cameo appearance. I honestly thought that this would be called Community the Movie, The Search for Troy, because Troy got written off, and if you pay attention to a newscast in one of the later seasons, he and LeVar Burton are captured by Cambodian sea pirates.
Damn. But no, I was like, I would think, if he does make an appearance, because I was like, I would like to see Donald Glover back in Community, but the fact that they're going with the movie, that does speak volumes, especially on Peacock. Oh, by the way, while I'm thinking about it, have you actually seen the Quantum Leap episode reboot yet?
I was immediately bored.
Damn. Yeah, I
made the premise boring. Like,
it is kind of a slow burn. I'm not gonna lie, it is a slow burn.
No, at this point, that's not a slow burn. That's not even. That's going into the drawer and not being able to find the book of matches.
I mean, it's just the fact of I'm not gonna lie, I'm still kind of invested. The whole idea of, okay, so Sam Beckett never returned. we knew that was coming. But the whole story about now this individual hops into the very same machine and is now leaping, and they're trying to make it modernized. I'm like, it's not bad, but it's not.
You need Scott Bakula. I guarantee you, because of how bad the ratings are, because from what I understand, this is already going to be canceled after season 1.
Yeah.
They're going to, in order to try and boost ratings, I guarantee you they're going to throw money at Bakula to do a crossover episode.
Well, they're going to have to.
If they even get that chance, because I already hear it's getting canceled almost outright.
Well, I mean, it's just the idea of the premise. And I wanted to watch it just because one of my favorite actors, Winston, I forgot his name already, who actually is in the show, and I want to give it a fair shot, but story, it doesn't make any sense. Why would he hop into the quantum accelerator knowing the simple fact of the matter, the last person that went in there never came back?
But let me put it this way, I would rather watch a remake of Greatest American Hero.
Damn. I mean, there's just no damn. You would rather watch that. That's saying a lot, Joe. That's saying a lot.
I would rather watch a remake of Mantis.
I can watch Mantis. Now, if there's any show that needs a reboot, that would be it. Why not?
Or Black Scorpion.
I can go with that. As long as it's not Nightman. Nightman can stay wherever it is. No, I got one better. Viper. Viper could use a reboot.
I would rather watch a remake of Cleopatra 2039.
Oh, dear God, no. That was UPN. Cleopatra, that was such a UPN failure that it was. Was it UPN?
It was UPN.
Yeah,
it came right on before. That was like what I call the blonde block, where it was VP, Cleopatra, Cleopatra, and Center.
Not VIP. Oh, Pamela Anderson. Oh, she was. She was enjoying that little run, wasn't she? Oh, VIP. I forgot about VIP. Oh man, VIP was good and terrible. but again, it was early 90s, 2000s. That's all we had, I guess. That's all we had. Dear God. Well, there was some terrible. You know what? That lets you know that not every good idea about space was great, especially Cleopatra. So I'm not. That's wow. I wonder if I could. I bet there are DVD series of that are still out there that can be found in the Walmart $5 bin. I'll bet money on that. But I'm sorry, Joe. What else we got?
We can see if we got anything else. I mean, Antonio Inoki literally just passed away this morning in Japan.
Damn. One of the greatest wrestlers from the land of the rising sun. Damn.
Yeah, everyone's showing the picture of the time he fought Muhammad Ali.
Yep. That's iconic. And the time that he actually, that's more like Dark Side of the Ring, when they talked about the matches that were held in North Korea and the fact that so many wrestlers were scared to go over there. So there's that. But
then there was a line of men who just went to go get chopped by him.
Yeah. I never understood that. Don't get me wrong. As a wrestling fan, I would love to actually meet the same wrestlers that I would just, get autographs and whatnot. I've never been the guy that wants to take my shirt off and say, hey, just give me one good slap, one good time. No. If I'm not getting paid to take a chop, you ain't about to Ric Flair cross me in my chest. Not happening. I refuse. Good sir. Unless it's Ric Flair, because, he ain't got much of nothing. But then again, Ric Flair wants to wrestle again at almost damn near 80 years old. But again, I would say, Lucky, all of them, of course, is Bleach. I still haven't seen Fire Force, though. You really, really, really should. If you ever get the chance to watch Fire Force, you definitely should. It is still available on Crunchyroll or Hulu. The first 2 seasons, definitely watch them. You will not be disappointed. Oh, okay, Joe, I see your comics. You ready, sir?
We getting a 3rd season of Fire Force?
Yes, we are. It's
Oh,
delayed.
so they're going to finish it, aren't? So they're going to finish it so it leads into whatchamacallit, huh?
Yeah, leads into the Holy War. But yeah, we're definitely getting it.
All right, so before we go into comics, what did you think of this week's books? Because it was kind of an up and down for me.
Okay, so Vanish.
Vanish is
I'm gonna let that
first
one
up.
grow.
So let's set it up. This is written by Donny Cates, who
Mhm.
just got finished doing part 1 of Crossover, which was a fantastic book. Art is by Ryan Stegman. The premise is, what if the Death Eaters won against Hogwarts, and then after they killed Dumbledore, they pieced out because their leader was killed and went and set up shop and became the Justice League. But Harry Potter follows them and basically becomes Spawn.
I was gonna say what happens when the boys meets Harry Potter, but close enough. I can go with that.
Yeah, I mean, I just like where the guy's like, no, the main bad guy's like, no spell can defeat me. Pulls out a 9mm and just shoots him in the head.
That was funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Where did this school child get a 9mm?
Hey, he said it was arcane tools. He never said arcane was a gun. He never said that an arcane tool was a gun. That's all I'm saying. He just sat there and said, "Let me go get what I need to put him down." And who knew that a 1911 was what he needed? But no, Vanish was the first issue as far as the story goes. It did grow on me. It really did. I really do dig it. The fact of the whole thing of just that the order that was there to take out, his home, his training grounds, his master, that they now are portraying as heroes, in which he's going out and just basically pulling a Punisher. I'm not mad about that. Definitely is different. Especially when he did the Rocket Boy. That was whoo. Rocket Boy got done. He got
Well, I said he was just Spawn. It's like trap him in an alleyway, got some chains, do some stomping.
But no, I dig it though. I mean, the first issue of it makes me want to keep reading it. Donny Cates, he's an exceptional writer. I like him. So the moment I saw his name, I'm like, okay, it's gonna be a great story. So I got no issue with it. I think it was a great issue. I think it was great. I'm actually gonna kind of put that in my list to keep up with.
Jumping on over, Grim number 5, written by Stephanie Phillips, art by Flavino, and colors by Rico Renzio. What we predicted in issue 4 turned out to be true. Death gets to fight the end. Some stuff happens, and we're left with part 2. I thought this would be like a miniseries, but we're going to keep going. I am super happy we are going to keep going.
Oh, yeah.
This has been fantastic.
Oh, the fact that, Death explains it all, and then it's like, oh, yeah, so I basically made a deal with your aunt to keep you alive. And it's like, but she shows up and says, I'm going to keep my word, but I'm taking the side. It's like, and then the whole thing with the end, I was like, all right, that makes sense. But no, I mean, I did like it. I do like the epilogue, how it shows a certain character. I don't want to spoil it for everybody.
Oh, yeah, no.
It does show a certain character in the epilogue, so it is definitely on my list to read as well. I am pleasantly surprised how that story is unwinding so far.
Especially with the way they present their main villain in the end.
Yeah.
That's just a really good character design.
Oh, I can't argue that. He's like, everything must be balanced. I'm like, but still, you got, dang. You can't say a parent doesn't love their child. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Moving on over, we got Power Rangers issue 100. This is the finale for Ryan Pro. We get a new writer starting soon with illustrations by Moses Hidalgo and Marco Retta, colors by Raul Angelo, and Walter Baiamonte, and Sierra Antonelli. God bless being Italian and able to pronounce some of these. And Sharon Marno. This ends the Death Ranger finale. This is the finale of the Death Ranger arc, or Power Rangers Blackest Night, basically. We also get to say a fond farewell to one Ranger permanently. We get to see a fantastic spread of what is the equivalent of Linkara's I'm a Man Punch as thrown through 5 different artists.
True.
Everything was just really cool. This wraps up a whole lot of plot lines. We get to see a Zord combination we never thought possible. We get to see the Thunder Dragon Megazord.
It does make you wonder why they never did that in Mighty Morphin.
Well, no, they actually said that the Dragon Zord did not have the power compatibility at that time because Tommy did not have sufficient power. Remember?
Oh, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
he
right.
did not have sufficient Green Ranger power for him to operate the Dragon Zord at the same functionality as the Thunder Zords.
That's right.
Matt, on the other hand, in this book, has no problem.
None at all.
So we get to see we get to see a Zord combination we've never seen before. We also get to see the angelic form of the Ultra Omega Zord.
Yeah.
So there's that. I look forward to see what Power Rangers goes for in the future. I know they're keeping the Omega Rangers out and about, so Zach and Trini are still out and about. Andros is still going to be bumming around space until it's time for Power Ranger Turbo to end.
Yeah.
Unless the continuity shifts a little more. And I guess this will slowly go into season 3 of Power Rangers or mid-season 2 of Power Rangers.
Give or take, yeah.
I mean, we're at Rocky, Adam, and Aisha, but Rito's not around yet, so I guess we're still in mid-season 2.
Give or take.
But again, this is a weird timeline, so I can't really say because Matt was never a thing in season 2, so there's that. Again, I think it was a great wrap up to 100 in a great 100 issues. Looking forward to see what the new book brings because they're rejoining the books. It will once again be Mighty Morphin Power Rangers going forward in the future. What do you think?
I actually enjoyed it, especially the whole thing about Zach and Trini and that whole setup. I got no issue with that. I thought that was awesome. It does make me wonder where they're going with this. Like I said, they are doing the continuum. It's either setting up for a bigger story or they're trying to wrap up the main arc. I'm sorry, that's wrong. That's not the way I want to word it. They're setting up for a bigger story, the way I think about it, just because they're leaving a lot of things open-ended, which either tells me that as this story is wrapping up, there's going to be either a massive crossover coming or there's going to be a general direction. But either way, I did like this issue. I got no issue with it.
Yep. I mean, they run off a certain Ranger, which we know comes back in the Zeo era, but, we don't know what's going on between here and there.
Yeah. But I thought it was pretty cool, though.
All right. Let's get into some stuff that was less than thing. I will say, though, Gwen Stacy's look on this cover is what it's like every time I read Spider-Man right now.
Ooh, that issue. Oh, that issue. Ooh.
Okay, guys, so this is a Judgment Day episode, meaning Peter Parker's going on his apology tour and I Forgive You tour. I have no idea who the heck Jonah Jameson would be. I guarantee you the one that judges Jonah is a Spider-Man. I really did enjoy that. The one thing I enjoyed out of this book was that you got to see the one that judges May as Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
And I know she passed.
Yeah.
You don't even have to see it. I mean, it's just Ben's there behind her. It's like, well, we know May passes. That's easy. But Peter going out to look for Ben to make up with him, it's like,
right.
Nah, you'll see him later on down the road, Chief. That'll be a whole thing for you.
That's gonna be a story itself.
Who did what in this? So
I was
writer
gonna say
was Zeb
Kamala got,
Wells.
I was gonna say Kamala got visited by Captain Marvel. That was interesting.
Nick Dragotta was the artist for this book. Honestly, I'm gonna say I really hope they get him more because the art was much more pleasing than it has been previously.
Mm-hmm.
Still confused why Kamala Khan is a 20-year-old working in Oscorp at this point.
That's a little weird, but
I get its artist interpretation, but it makes no sense.
none at all. But the trippy part, I do gotta give it this. Whoever did actually write this to where it was almost like I'm sorry, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. The fact of the matter is that the progenitor actually sat there and judged Peter, finding him worthy and saying, I'm gonna give you a gift, and he gets to see Gwen just for a split second. I mean, that's some effing torture. The fact that you get to see the love of your life come back to life for a split second and then disappear, and then you see Norman Osborn at the end, it's like she was real, only to see his test happen, where his test had popped up, and now Gwen's going to be Gwen, our progenitor, is going to be judging him. So it's going to be interesting to see I'll be honest. I know you said you're giving up on the Spider-Man run, but I have to see what happens in the next issue with this.
Well, I do too. I will too, because again, this is a Judgment issue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Spider-Man's getting a second issue for Judgment, but I mean, we knew going in this would probably be a little bit better written because it's tied into something greater. Because the last issue was tied into that we did not cover, tied into the Hellfire Gala, which that in its own was not that bad a book, but I don't think we're going to see the Norman Osborn thing unless it comes into another book.
Yeah.
We just know that Norman's judgment is going to be Gwen, which is weird. I would have thought it would have been Harry.
Yeah.
Everything that's befallen his son because of him, but
I
Gwen
think
is so essential to both characters. It makes sense.
Yeah, and plus it's twisted. It's twisted that way. The fact that the person that you killed is also the face of the person that's going to be judging you. So I do like that twist. It makes sense.
Still waiting for Dark Web to happen, then I'm dropping the book. And then I'll only pick the book back up anytime Ben Reilly pops back in. There's just no saving this book for me.
No, I get it, but still,
I think there's supposed to be another Spider-Man title coming out, so I may check that one.
Yeah, I can see that, but I gotta see what happens if they decide to cover it. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna ask you.
Huh?
I'm sorry, what? No, I was gonna ask your opinion about that one, but go ahead.
My opinion about what?
That Thunderbolts that you're about to cover.
Oh, this was fun. I just had a fun. It was just a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
This is Thunderbolts issue 2, written by Jim Zub, art by Sean Izakasi. That'd be something.
Close enough.
Java Tartagila. The Thunderbolt. Clint just says more fun stuff going on for him, and then he's still trying to get the team to be a team. Power Man has confidence issues and whatnot, and they end up going and fighting Ergo the Unbreakable, who I don't know if he's a extra dimensional troll or if he's something from the negative zone or something from the 9 realms, but they have a brief fight with him, and then Luke just puts him on the team because he tests well with children.
Oh, the PR person. He tested well in our focus groups with children. Oh, just really.
And then you get a team photo, which actually is pretty funny. And then you still got some stuff like America Chavez is going through something. She may be going through that thing from Spider-Verse where she's been in our universe too long to where
It's
she's
starting to
starting to
affect.
break down because this is not her home universe or something?
Yeah.
We don't know what's exactly going on with her. That's just my guess.
You've been in this universe too long, so they're actually pulling a multiverse. They're pulling the Spider-Man multiverse. You've been in our universe too. You've been in our universe too long, and you're starting to break down. Which what you would think for a person that can travel multidimensionally, it shouldn't affect her. But again, we can see what that is. Now, Egro the Unbreakable, that guy had me cracking up. His whole thing about, he says, "What are you?" I'm Egro. No, what are you? I'm Egro. Well, what are you here for? To witness your statues. Your statues are great monuments in here. That's why I'm here. No, I really actually did dig it. The fact that poor Hawkeye is like, what did you do? What did you made me the leader, but you gave me a PR person, you gave me this, you gave me that, and at the same time, I'm not really a leader of this team. And
He
then
sits down with that coffee and like Luke Cage is like, God damn it, Clint.
that Luke Cage reminds me of Danny Glover from Lethal Weapon. Just
Oh
like
yeah, he was totally
he
Murtaugh.
has the Murtaugh look like, God dang it, Riggs. Just you had one job. I mean, that's what it sounds like. But no, I got no issue with this. I thought this was great.
I do like that he actually calls back when Power Man's like, I'm just not good at this team thing. He's like, I had to measure up between the greatest soldier in our living age, the fastest man on the planet,
right.
a woman who could break reality at any moment, and everybody else as a new member of the Avengers. Kid, you're fine.
Pretty much. That was the funny part. That whole thing was, you are okay. But no, I thought it was a pretty good episode.
I love this Thunderbolts run. This is kind of like, what if Community was Thunderbolts?
Pretty much. That is a great analogy.
Too.
That is a great analogy.
We're rounding out with the return of Human Target.
Mm-hmm.
This is book number 7 with story by Tom King, impeccable artwork by Greg Smallwood, and where is the rest of it? Lettering by Clayton Cowles.
Mm-hmm.
And Human Target is created by Len Wein and Carmine Infantino. So yeah, art and ink is done by Greg Smallwood. Long and short of this, Chance actually does get a one-on-one with Fire and Questioner on the poisoning thing because he is still going to die. Stuff has happened. It's potentially let out on who actually poisoned him. I still think it's Ice.
Yeah.
They also bring up Guy briefly. So it's like, so there's no way they can trace it. I was like, oh no! I put scrub the room so good. It's like absolute zero. They're not gonna find a thing. Plus, it's Guy Gardner. No one's gonna ask about him at any time in the future. Trust me.
Right. Because
I'm like, no, the Corps probably gonna notice a ring coming back from Earth.
Yeah, that's gonna kind of yeah.
But no, this was every bit of the perfect comic it's been since Jump Street. The art is just gorgeous. The fact that Chance just straight up impersonates Lex Luthor just to get a Ferris wheel open.
Mm-hmm.
Fire tests him because she's like, everybody wants me. Or everybody wants to be with me. Everybody wants to touch me. Sometimes I let them. Sometimes I don't. What about you, Mr. Chance? He's like, no. Why? So why'd you poison me?
Straight to the point. That's the part that killed me. The whole straight to the point, like, yeah, so why did you do this to me?
Well, we have to remind ourselves that whoever poisoned him did not try to poison him. The poison was meant for Luthor.
Yeah.
And he presents the case like, well, you have the motive because Luthor's the reason Ice died.
Right.
during JLI. So
Right.
you have the biggest motive because you are fire and ice.
Mm-hmm.
And then Beatrice is like, well, I didn't do it, but Guy was the last one with that picture of water and whatnot. And then everyone's like, ooh. It's like, no, it's ice. It's very clearly ice
Damn.
at this point because no one's going to suspect her. No one's
Mm-hmm.
going to put her under anything. It's like, well, it killed me. So,
Mm-hmm. It's like I'm already dead, so you can just tell me. It's like it's not like I can get even, literally. But no, the whole idea of him jumping from the Ferris wheel at the same time, it's like, why did you do that? It's like
because you'd save me. You're a good person.
Mm-hmm. And the whole thing using Luthor's name for a pass, that was still funny. He's like, he's gonna be pissed. What's he gonna do to me? It's like I'm already dying. No, it was an interesting book, but yeah, I dug it.
Was that it? Yeah, that was it.
All right, cool. Well, thank you, Joe, for that. And as always, guys, we do always want to give a shout out to the Rick's Comic City that supports us here at the Give It Podcast. Rick's Comic Book City. If you are in the Middle Tennessee area, definitely check out each of 3 locations, one in Nashville, Clarksville, and in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. They have been voted Nashville's #1 spot to go to for comic books, especially it's their website as well, because I keep pointing this out. Guys, if you're like me, and you love graded comics, they actually have a graded comics section where I am actually awaiting a Superboy similar to this one that's down there, an Amazing Spider-Man, which is actually signed, which I can't wait for that to show up, and one booster goal where he decided to infiltrate the Batcave. So yes, those 3 that you see right there, I am so waiting to go pick those up tomorrow. But again, that's just a little bit of what Rick Comic City does. Again, I love the spot, love the people there, especially in the Dawson area. Definitely check them out when you get a chance. Also, if you are unable to get to a comic book store, you can always go to a library. Libraries do carry the most up-to-date comics, mangas, animes, and multimedia that you can still check out and watch. So please support your local comic book store, support your local library. But Joe, as we wrap this up, sir, anything on the horizon you want to let people know about?
Well, I'm still doing the Weekly Spirit, and I'm slowly making upgrades to that show week by week as I ask people in the Battle Spirits community, what more can I do to improve the show? If you look from the first episode to now, lots changed. Twitch, that is a good question right now. I'm a little bit too far into Assassin's Creed Legion to start streaming that. Still the best Assassin's Creed game I've ever played. I mean,
mine was still Rogue, but I'm kind of biased.
Well, I mean, if I want to, I got PlayStation Game Pass, and they dumped like a majority of them on there.
Yeah, they got almost.
They don't have the Ezio collection. I think they got 3 through Odyssey.
Yeah.
Or no, 3 through Origin.
Oh, Origin's on there now? Sweet.
Yeah, Origin's on there now.
Origin's also a good one too. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
So I mean, I'm playing that right now on my own. The Battle Spirits TCG, I am halfway through that game now.
Okay. With
about 8 different decks I've built. I know how to use them now too, so there's that. I'm actually able to make modifications that benefit me as opposed to what the heck does this card do? I can't read Japanese. That's been going pretty well, actually.
You've been doing a lot of guessing. You've been doing a lot of reading.
I go to the Wikia and read the card and then put the card in the deck.
Smart.
And then if I don't know what that does, thankfully this is very tribal based. So like each set is based around is still like color theme, but they like have a whole lot of tribal. Like Blue actually has a whole pro wrestling gimmick.
Nice. Okay.
Where Blue is either right now pro wrestling, animal space pirates, or robot monuments. So like the Tower of Pisa is a grade 2 difficulty robot.
Nice. Okay.
But yeah, so I'm still playing white, so a lot of robots, a lot of mecha, a lot of snow princesses, and I don't mean like Elsa and Anya? I mean, like the actual Snow Queen and Yukionos and Valkyries and stuff. It gets pretty decent. It's a pretty decent deck. I did just download Trial of Zeros, which is the Legacy of Heroes series.
Okay.
It is like the pseudo sequel to Trials of Cold Steel.
Oh, I've
It
never
happens
played
in the neighboring kingdom.
That's on my list of things to play that I happened to saw on Game Pass. I never gave it a shot.
Yeah, I'm on trial. If I was to pick it back up, I'd be on Trials of Cold Steel 3 because I beat 1 and 2 on the Vita.
Gotcha.
Other than that, I'm just gonna be out and about in Nashville because since tomorrow's October, it's spooky season, so that means I'll be out and about as Ghostbusters a whole bunch. Tomorrow I'll be at the Multicultural Festival in Midtown and Maker Faire. Just running around and seeing what kind of foreign food I can afford, and then jutting on over and seeing some friends at Maker Faire, and then there's this Ghostbuster stuff every week, like every week.
I'm surprised, especially with the Nashville Symphony actually doing.
We'll be there.
Oh, you will be there. I was gonna say
there's the Macabre Film Festival happening in Smyrna, like right now, where some of the guys are.
Damn, you're gonna have a busy ass month. You're gonna have
end of the month is a hospital visit with Cosplay Collective, which I'm coordinating. So we'll be there in costume to see the kids for Halloween. This will be the first time the hospital's allowed like large groups, so that'll be fun. But no, tomorrow I'm also going to get my 4th shot and the flu shot. So Sunday I'm going to be a dead man.
He says enthusiastically.
Well, I'm enthusiastic that I'm going to go get my booster shot and whatnot. So
yeah, it's just the way it was said. Just I don't know why my mind went to Fire Force when you did that, but okay, sorry, just the way my mind's working right now.
It's like the Conan O'Brien reading of listening to him the other night. It's like, I am a contemporarily handsome guy.
God. That being said, you can catch Joe's YouTube channel at Total Justice Gaming. Of course, his Twitter. Oh God, his Twitch page at Joe Italian last name. Definitely like, share, and subscribe. Also, some other friends that we do have, guys. Our other buddy Vaughn, Big BZ on all socials. Definitely check him out, especially on TikTok, as he is definitely producing beats. Of course, as well as Big BZ Thinking. So definitely check him out as well. Of course, myself, guys, Black Fox 447 on all socials. You can definitely like and follow me there, as I usually post reviews of everything that I watch and play, and also gym stuff because I do a couple push-ups. The link that you see in the bottom, let me just make that just a wee bit bigger. If you will copy and paste that link into your browser, we'll take the link to that the YouTube Facebook group for all the podcasts. How the Frack We Got Here, Get Bit, and of course the Off Limits podcast. Definitely like, share, and subscribe. And also, if you're watching some of the playback, let us know what you think about everything that we discussed tonight. Whether you liked it, didn't like it, difference of opinion, doesn't matter. We want to continue that discussion. Of course, we will be back here, guys, next Friday, same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel, with news that has happened during the week, and hopefully, well, some DC news. Also, apologies. Due to a scheduling conflict, we were not able to have Demetrius, also known as Hellspawn Cosplay, because the man is a busy man, and he actually had some great news that came through this week that basically had his attention elsewhere. So definitely wanted to give him a shout out to him and his group, because they have some things coming down the pipe that I absolutely cannot wait for them to announce. But he will definitely be back with us sometime in October, because we are due for a Star Trek conversation. So with that being said, Joe, anything else, sir, you got before we call tonight?
We need to go remember to wake up. Green Day. September has ended.
Technically, we can't wake up Green Day for their hour and 30 minutes.
This is true.
God.
All right, people in Europe, go wake up Green Day.
Oh, God. He's been Joe. I've been Will. This has been the Get Bit podcast for tonight, guys. Thank you all for watching. We are out. Take care of yourselves, each other. We will all get through this. Peace.